Hey guys, welcome to the show. It's Odd One Out. I'm Colin Spencer.
And I'm Ashley Spencer.
Tonight we're co-hosting. This is my wife. We used to make videos quite frequently. You might hear our daughter making sounds from our baby monitor, and you might also hear our dog. Um, you got to see him if you watched the video last night. Our boy Marty. He's just maxing, relaxing, chilling like a villain. So today's video, I've already done like a preview of Oklahoma candidates, both on the Republican and Democratic side. But for this video, we're going to be talking about just the Democrats. We're going to go a little bit more detail than we went last time. We're going to talk about all of the senators across the state, the senatorial candidates, the main ones, I should say, the top ones. And then we have just our one candidate here that'll be representing the district we're in here in Owasso, OK1, John Crescent, for the representatives. So without any further ado, actually, you know what? What are your top issues? Tell me your top three issues.
Oh gosh. Okay, you put you didn't tell me you were gonna ask me that.
This is how our marriage goes, by the way. I like to put her on the spot.
I mean, my top issue is probably gun violence, healthcare,
Yep.
and then I guess I would say education.
Yeah. Do you feel like our Republican representatives do good for any of those?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, as to why people they don't, as to why people don't value those policies enough to punish the candidates that don't represent them and reward the ones that do, I'll never know. But anyways, we're gonna jump into the candidates for the Democratic side. So starting in the U.S. Senate, we got R.O. Joe Cassidy Jr., and I'm going to just read off the information that we've gathered, and I'm going to let Ashley over here kind of give what her thoughts are on what the information available is. So, just like I did with the last video, I think the number one most important thing about the candidates before any kind of policy discussion is who they get their money from. I think that determines so much. That determines even more than a lot of their policy positions. Because once you get into Congress, you're going to advocate for whoever put money in your pockets. So that's either going to be big oil, big pharma, the NRA, or it's going to be the individual campaign donors, the actual Oklahomans that supported your campaign. You're gonna feel obligated to support wherever your money's coming from. It's the hand that feeds you kind of concept. So, R.O. Joe Cassidy Jr., U.S. Senate. He is from Ponca City. His public bio is very sparse in index sources, and he is on the official 2026 filing list. Now, the campaign, the money. FEC bulk summary data show no 2026 receipts or cash on hand surface for this run, and the index FEC candidate page that turned up was still tied to an older 2020 Senate filing. This is a giant red flag for seriousness. Basically, what that means is there's not a lot of information available yet on his donations. If he was actually pulling in donations that were sizable, they would have came across. So when it says that that's a giant red flag for seriousness, basically it's just like you're not going to be able to run a good campaign without money. That's just how it is. That's why a lot of people take these PAC donations, these corporate donations, but so we know nothing about his donations, but at least from that we can infer likely not a PAC recipient, but also not really getting any money. Policies. We did not find a clear index 2026 platform on healthcare, labor, abortion, LGBTQ rights, education, marijuana, monopoly power, tax fairness, climate, or voting rights. I was looking for leftist policies because we're talking about the Democrats and couldn't really find anything on their stances. He kind of seems like an opportunist with vague branding. No visible money, no visible platform, no visible campaign infrastructure index sources. So, based off the very limited information that you have, and you may not have much of a assumption based off of this. Do you feel anything based off this candidate?
So I have not heard of this candidate. This is a seat I actually have been following other campaigns for this seat for quite a while now, because this is the seat that was held by Markwayne Mullin, who I did not and do not still support. So whenever he was going to be running again, I have been following the Democrats who have been running for quite a while, because he is someone that I would have liked to already see not have his office. So anyways, my point is I've been following this seat for a while, I have not heard of this candidate.
Yeah.
So I really don't know what to say because I have no idea who this is.
Yeah, we got really no information on this person, but I do have to ask you, what was we ranked?
Excuse me?
What was we ranked? That's our Secretary of Homeland Defense, or Homeland Security now, Mr. Mark Wayne Mullen. Mark Wayne! Okay. Going on to the next one that we both got to meet at the Rogers County Democratic Fair? What was the name of that convention?
I think they called it a candidate meet and greet.
That was a great time, wasn't it?
It was. We met several candidates, and it was just fun to hear from and meet people. So that was fun.
We met 7. That's the number of candidates that were there. 7 for 7 refused PAC donations, refused any kind of corporate money. We were very impressed with that. Their donation structure all checked out. Some of the candidates honestly blew us away. And then Troy was one of the candidates we met. I'll just go off the information that we got again, and then I'll let Ashley give her take on him. Senate candidate from Oklahoma City. He's an entrepreneur, former foster system kid, and humanist with campaign materials and a Ballotpedia survey on file. So money. This is actually more than the last filing that I checked. So he's like doubled it. So he's actually starting to get a little bit of ground. He's raised about $22,600 and he has about $7,200 cash. This was as of March 31st. His money's mostly individual donations plus a small candidate contribution and a small party committee contribution with no other committee money showing. Committee money is not PAC money. Basically, this is like Democratic organizations that are looking to help candidates run. Policy. He has public materials and endorsement from the Center for Free Thought Equality, but the indexed issue detail is thinner than what we would want. Broad reform, outsider branding is clear. Like he's definitely an outsider. But a fully specific left policy map, like all his policies, which we saw this in person, he didn't really have much leftist policies to give. He really sold himself, but we didn't really get any leftist policy that we could find. Mm-hmm. He seems like a standard liberal, but with outsider branding. Mostly individual money, no obvious corporate PAC footprint to help him. But we wouldn't necessarily call him a populist based off of his policies. Excuse me. So, would you like to give your spiel on Mr. Troy Green?
Yeah, I was trying to pull up his page real quick because I thought I had seen him maybe post just a couple bullet points of his, what he wants to focus on, but he has so many points or so many pictures. I don't know if I'll be able to find it. But yeah, so before we met him at that meet and greet, I had actually heard him speak at a meeting before that. And yeah, he has a nice or a good story. Like he's been through a lot and I think knows what it's like to struggle. So I do think he can bring that into his work and his policy to help other people that might be struggling. And that as far as financials and, but really anything. I think the only negative I would say is that we don't really know as far as his policies, which is why I was trying to find. See, he has this that says the green agenda. Here. Let's see if we can find it.
While she's looking that up, kind of as I had mentioned, definitely he passes the person check. He seems like a good dude, legitimately a good dude.
Yeah.
And this is so overrated. This shouldn't even matter, but unfortunately, it kind of does matter. We saw it happen with MAGA, with Trump, with the whole bro sphere, the whole comedian sphere. He comes off as a guy that could pull other men to like him. Like I said, it's so overrated because you should actually like a candidate for their policy and their donation structure, but it is what it is. Not listed here as he's a former MMA fighter. He came off the streets. He's all about changing people's lives because he's been there, done that. So he seems like a really solid dude.
So here's a couple things that he has on his website as far as like a policy in regards to the unhoused, so helping people, which this says preventing families from becoming unhoused in the first place. So kind of a prevention to that. And this is just me summarizing. He's got a policy on here to protect children, combat human trafficking, which that was something whenever I first heard him speak, he himself is a survivor of human trafficking. He didn't go into like details, but he said that he has experienced that. So that's definitely going to be something that he is going to be passionate about. And then he also has something on here about education, raising teacher pay, things like that. So it sounds like he has maybe started working on more policies since when we met him. Those are his focuses right now.
Yeah, and actually one of the things that I do remember asking him about is that he's for a flat tax. I'm not for that. I believe in a progressive tax system that closes loopholes, especially stuff like unrealized capital gain. Like Kamala Harris, one of maybe her best policy from my book was her wanting to levy taxes on unrealized capital gains north of $100 million. So like the ultra mega dummy wealthy people, she was wanting to close tax loopholes on them so that they can, they can't just hide their wealth in stock, which is not taxed until you sell it. But you can take that stock to a bank, for example, and take out a huge loan and pay small interest, and that's your tax rate. So it's not the tax proposal that I would like, but bottom line, the dude seems really solid. He seems like the kind of guy that you might like to be around, hang around, that you would trust to make decisions on your behalf in Congress, whether or not you would align in policy. I believe you could trust him to make decisions that he felt was right, and not just decisions that he did because it was like out of selfish or greed, or to please like corporations. He gives the exact opposite of the whole corporate vibe to me. And in fact, we went to go see Pete Buttigieg. Is it Buttigieg? Pete Buttigieg. I thought I heard you say Pete Buttigieg.
I've never in my life said Pete Buttigieg.
Pete Buttigieg is how I thought you said it. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, okay. I thought that she said that,
it's at least not Buttigieg.
She's the smart one, so I was like, it must be Pete Buttigieg. So I don't know what I was on that day. But anyways, we saw some of the other politicians making their rounds and doing normal politician things like greeting the people and, hey, vote for me. And Troy was actually like 10 people up in front of us in line. He was not doing that. Like, it seemed like a super humble guy. He's not all about himself. So like I said, seemed like a solid dude. I don't know about his policies. He's not my favorite candidate out of this list, but likable guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, since you said that, I think like we're wanting this to just be more educational, and not, even though we do have our candidate that we favor, or are we gonna say who we favor?
You go for it, Nikayla Jasmine Thomas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But this is educational, and I really think whoever becomes the candidate, could do a good job, I think is also what we're wanting to show. And that all of these candidates, unlike other parties, they're getting donations from the people and not from corporations or PACs.
Yeah, I mean, real quick on the side, they're not on this list of people to talk about tonight. I've come across 2 different Republican candidates that also don't take PAC donations, but like they scream libertarian, which is like typical. It's in a good way typical. I don't mean that in a bad way. It's like I would expect a libertarian to be like more aligned with the people. I think that they're an honest movement. I think that the party in general has maybe lost its footing a little bit. They've been allowed themselves to take over by MAGA, but overall, a true libertarian candidate is going to be one that's good faith and honest for the most part, like a solid libertarian. So, but as far as the Republicans go in general, I have not seen one other than those two that I'm discussing that don't like that refuse PAC donations. They all take them. So, I do again. We want to stress it's really important where they get their donations from. So, we'll move on. This next one is Jim Priest. Senate candidate from Oklahoma City. He's a nonprofit executive, an attorney, an ordained minister, and a former 2010 Democratic nominee for Oklahoma Attorney General, so he has some experience. Money. He is the Democratic field's money leader, roughly $203,000 raised and $134,800 cash as of March 31st. But $50,000 of that was a candidate loan. The rest was individual money with no PAC/committee money surfaced in FEC summary, which is honestly really impressive. Even if you just remove that $50,000 loan, that's really impressive to have that kind of money without any kind of PAC donations. So policy. His pitch is ethics, practical problem solving, and bringing America together again. The index materials are much clearer on unity/competence than on unions, marijuana, antitrust, climate, or tax the rich specifics. So a little bit of a watered down Democrat, if I'm honest. Standard liberal Democrat. Serious fundraising and no PAC money are positives, but the self-loan plus unity first messaging reads more establishment adjacent than anti-corporate insurgents. So he's clearly the most viable Democratic primary contender on the money, but still wouldn't necessarily. But still miles from favored in a statewide Oklahoma general where we lean heavily Republican. That's the thing with all these candidates. Like Troy again, we just talked about, massive underdog. But even this guy with all the money, we'll see how it goes. But do you want to give your take on what you've just heard?
Yeah, so I have actually heard of him, unlike the first candidate, the very first one that we discussed. But he did enter the race a little bit later than Troy Green and Jasmine Thomas. So I haven't really followed him as much. He also has not been at any events that I've been at. I haven't heard from him. I don't know much about him. It is interesting you pointed out that he reads more establishment adjacent, because an event that we were at, someone told me that he was asked to run. And I think this person meant that, like, the party asked him to run. Not that that's a bad thing. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I think that he is kind of more with the establishment. But that doesn't mean he's a bad person or a bad candidate by any means, but he is, I think, more probably polished politician than the other candidates.
It's no secret this is a leftist populist channel. We are anti-establishment, and we're against the Chuck Schumers and the Hakeem Jeffries of the party. We'll take them every single day of the week over MAGA. But we are looking for the Bernie Sanders, the Mamdanis, the AOCs, the Ro Khannas, the Ilhan Omars, as far as a candidate, Abdul El Sayed, we're for these leftist anti-establishment candidates for sure over the the corporate Democrats. But again, better than MAGA. I'll take it over MAGA every day of the week.
Yeah, I want, and of course you need someone who can do the job. But something that I remember thinking when we were at the candidate meet and greet, all of the candidates who talked were just real people. They weren't politicians. They were real people who can relate to things that everyday people are going to. They're not millionaires. They're not career politicians. Like, they have lived real, just regular lives. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm personally looking for in a candidate.
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody you can relate to.
Yeah.
Somebody who you can count on when they're in Washington advocating for you.
Right.
And not the rich. Okay, this next one is our favorite for the Senate, Nikayla Jasmine Thomas. She goes by Jasmine Thomas. She's a Senate candidate from Ardmore. She's a nurse, community health worker, military spouse, and a mother with ties noted to the Chickasaw Nation and autism/veterans advocacy. Money. She's raised about, and I'll also say this is her first run. She's raised about $39,000 and she holds about $3,700 cash by the end of March 31st. FEC summary shows essentially all of it was individual money with a very large unitemized share in no PAC/committee money. She's as grassroots as it gets.
Mm-hmm.
Policy. She is a true leftist, a leftist populist. She's for accessible healthcare, lower costs, better wages, and safer workplaces for working people, reproductive rights, teacher/nurse support, autism and IEP support, rural broadband, renewable energy, affordable housing, and stronger transparency against special interests. Definitely grassroots populist, like a real, actual leftist populist. Her own survey explicitly says that she's not backed by billionaires or lobbyists, and FEC summary backs that with almost entirely individually donor base. She's a strong messenger for a Democratic primary and for movement politics, but she does, just like all these other candidates, she's, $39,000 is hard. That's hard to run a Senate campaign with. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be a big challenge for her, especially as they're all underdogs. She's definitely an underdog as well, in one of the deepest red states in America. But, she's our favorite candidate, and Ashley, I'll let you talk about her.
With this, do you mean that you didn't find a clear...
Like, she doesn't have any policy on marijuana that she stated.
Okay. Well, I was just going to say, she just posted on Facebook, like, the other day. She was at some kind of event at the state capitol advocating to... because there are some people who want to take away medical marijuana in our state, and she was there was a whole day at the Capitol advocating to keep medical marijuana, and she was there. So she at least supports that part of it.
Good. Sounds like as leftist as it gets then across the board.
Yeah, so kind of going with what I said about I'm looking for a real person that I know can relate to real people and can relate to me. She's a real person. She's a mom like me. She's a nurse like me. She's a woman like me. She's also our age, which not that age is everything, but I would love to see more younger people getting into politics and getting into these seats. So, yeah, she's who I will be voting for in the primaries. I think, she's thought about so many different issues already that she wants to try to make a difference on. She may not be the most polished. She's definitely not a politician, and I just mean that she's not a politician. Like, she's gonna talk to you like a real person, and I think there's a lot of value in that. I also think that we need more women and more moms in office.
Representation.
So I'm always for a mom running for office.
Yeah, absolutely. We need representation of
sorry.
Well, like, our Congress needs to look like America, and that would be ideally half women, half men, right down the middle.
Yes, representation, but also, like, moms know what families need. Moms know what kids need. Moms know that we need paid leave. Moms know about health. Like, moms just get it. They get what families need. So yes, it is about representation, but it's also just about moms know how to take care of people and they know how to get things done. And honestly, moms should be running everything.
I'm a mama's boy. Moms, we should come up with a shirt with moms should be running everything. And real quick, just to drill this in, I'm going to read the policies real quick. I want you to tell me if you are against any of these. So she is in favor of accessible healthcare, lower cost, better wages, safer workplaces, reproductive rights, teacher/nurse support, autism and IEP support, rural broadband, renewable energy, affordable housing, and stronger transparency against special interests. Are you against any of those things that she advocates for?
What exactly is rural broadband?
So that would be making like the internet more accessible.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I support all of that.
Yeah, I mean, and this is what I mean. Like, this is why she's our favorite candidate. So I think that she's incredibly strong on the policy front, and her donations are clean. They check out. So
She also, I just wanted to say real quick, it's great that candidates tell you what they believe, what they want to get done, but it is good to remember that they are going to have to work with other people.
Yep.
And probably won't be able to get all of this done. But she is someone that, at least from when we've met her, she doesn't seem like she's someone who's afraid to speak up. She's not going to be afraid to tell these people in Congress, like, no, I don't support this. Like, she's not someone who's just going to go along with things. I think she truly will use her voice for the people.
yeah, absolutely. She's got our vote. All right, scrolling on down. Irvin Yin, Senate candidate from Oklahoma City, physician and former Oklahoma State Senator whose Ballotpedia page still foregrounds his earlier legislative career. Money. FEC bulk summary data surfaced no 2026 receipts or cash on hand for the Senate run as of the current data poll. The policy platform couldn't really find anything. This candidate was kind of hard to find really much of anything on. I just know that he's running. One way that he's summed up is a conservative Democrat slash a triangulator. He's an ex-GOP state legislator and doesn't have any kind of money profile, like I said. Doesn't exactly scream anti-corporate insurgency. His name recognition helps a little. Like I said, he's got a Ballotpedia page, but no visible money and no sharp 2026 message make him weak in both primary and general terms. Again, I'll keep on stressing it. These are all underdogs. And this guy's got no money. Being a conservative Democrat and actually no. Like, you would think, okay, in a Republican state, being a right-leaning Democrat might help you a little bit. It's like Republicans here are not going to vote for a Democrat of any kind. And the Democrats are not going to want a conservative Democrat. So I know she's given her spiels. I'm going to let her say what she wants after this, but I had to really quickly just slide in, like, I think this is the weakest candidate on the list for me.
I don't know who this is. This is the first time hearing of this person, but I agree with you based on what's here. But yeah, I don't know this person. I don't... Have you ever seen the video of Keke Palmer and she's like, I am sorry to this man. I don't know who that is.
I've not seen it.
So I'm sorry to this man. I have no idea.
Who
Irvin Yin? This is the first I'm hearing that he's running.
Sorry to be mean, but I'm not sorry to him. I'm done with neoliberalism, which is what a conservative Democrat is. America needs to go left. That's my take on it. But yeah, don't really have much on this guy. But hey, he's running, so it's getting discussed here. Now, to the very last person we're going to talk about in the video. And this is a guy who's running for the House. We just talked about senators. This guy's running for the House of Representatives. He'll be representing our district here in OK01. His name's John Croissant. He's another guy that we met at Rogers County. He's a House candidate from Tulsa. He's an insurance agency owner, former teacher and a coach, and a member of the Tulsa Public Schools Board of Education with school board wins in 2020 and 2024. Money. He's the second most impressive on this list. He's raised about $99,500 and he holds about $35,900 in cash. FEC data shows zero party/other party committee money, roughly $1,000 in candidate money, and the rest from individuals with meaningful small dollar share. So donations clean. Check out. I mentioned this in my previous video about him. He does take donations from unions, specifically teachers' unions. And he had a great answer, and it makes sense, too, if you think about it. And he was like, do you know why I take donations from teachers' unions? Because who makes up teachers' unions? Teachers. Mm-hmm. So he's still getting money through individuals. Policy. His clearest public priorities are affordability, healthcare/housing/childcare costs, stronger public education, protecting the Department of Education, teacher recruitment, infrastructure, and local control. He didn't have any detailed positions on abortion, LGBTQ rights, marijuana, antitrust, tax fairness, or the climate. So he came off definitely, you know, I would say it's hard to call him a leftist populist because, like I said, you couldn't really find anything on the stances that we just mentioned. But he still represents policies I think that all people would say, I care about this, I care about this, I care about this. So he's definitely a standard liberal Democrat. I'm riding hard for the guy, and I'm a leftist populist. Like I said, I ride hard for the guy. So even though he's not extremely left, I still think he's a very strong candidate. He's got good experience. He's very charismatic. He was polished whenever he spoke to us. Solid. He gets out. He meets the people. Donation structure is really solid for a guy that doesn't take PAC money. It's an open seat. That helps. It was at Hearn because he's going to be running for the Senate.
Yes.
But obviously it's still and not only is Oklahoma deep red, our district is very red. So it will be a challenge. But I think that if we're going to put up anybody, he's going to, I think he's going to run a good campaign and give himself a good shot. Real quick, we actually got numbers on this. Trump won in 2024 in this district, 60% for him to 38% Kamala Harris. So plus 22 for Trump. Obviously very strong red. But tell us what you think.
Yeah, he's the candidate, but I like him nonetheless. He's another one I've been following for quite a while because our rep I'm not the biggest fan of, but he has decided he's going to jump ship and run for the Senate anyways.
I have to pause you super fast. And Hearn takes insane amounts of PAC money.
He's one of the wealthiest in Congress.
Yeah, and he's taking $2 million from PACs. It's not actually $2 million. It's like $1.7 million. I went over my last video. Insane amounts of money from PACs. Go ahead.
One of the wealthiest in Congress, but no, I have liked John Croissant since I started following him. I think anyone with a background in education is going to be beneficial. We have an education problem in our state. I mean, I know he would be at the federal level, but still, we have an education problem in our state, in our country. The way that they're trying to get rid of the. What did they get rid of the
department?
The Department of Education. I wanted to say the Board of I was like, it's not called the Board of Education. The getting rid of the Department of Education. Like, we have so many issues going on with education. So I think his education background, being on the school board, says a lot and will be good. Be good for him. I think. I mean, yes, of course, all of the districts are red. We should do a video though about gerrymandering and is Oklahoma really a red state? Because I don't want to get on my rant about that right now. But I refuse to just accept that we are a red state until everyone in the state actually votes. When we only have 50% voter turnout, I'm not just going to accept that we're a red state. Well, everyone didn't vote. So anyways, I have a whole rant about that. But anyways, I think this district, I mean, yes, it's going to be a hard race, but I think it's one that maybe could flip. It has a lot of Tulsa, which there are parts of Tulsa that are more purple. So I think it could flip. I mean, I don't think it's a for sure it's going to go to the Republican. It's going to be, of course, a hard race, but I think there are probably two districts that have a good chance of flipping, and this is one of them.
I agree, and we're going to be popping bottles when he wins. Yeah, and I encourage you at home. I encourage you at home to go look up the Oklahoma representative districts and see what she's talking about with the gerrymandering. It's very true, and you should see how our districts are drawn up. It's wild, and it's straight up just wrong.
And we really should do. We'll do a video about it at some point.
Yeah.
We'll start working on that.
All right. Well, that wraps up all of our candidates that we were going to discuss tonight. The next video that we'll be making together will be about the gubernatorial race, which we're extremely excited for that. Shout out to Cindy Munson. She's fantastic. And I like, literally, I don't, who cares about Democrat, Republican? She's literally just fantastic. I think she's a very strong representative and representative of the people is what I mean. And so that'll be the next video we do together. Also slotted up there will be gun reform. Be another exciting one to talk about. So, and we, I say we are very active in the community, but it's really her. I'm usually when I'm active in the community, it's to help support her with whatever she's doing. She leads the way with that kind of stuff. She's very active. So she's going to be she's going to be helping teach people about gun safety coming up soon. And that one will be here in Owasso. And so, get out and vote. I know I just took a weird segue there, but make sure you get out and vote. Vote for the people that are going to represent you. Look at their donation structure. Look at their policies, of course, but look at their donation structure. If you're sick and tired of being 50th in education, and I know, like we said, this is at the federal level, but still, it's the same kind of mindset that has led to the state level. If you're tired of the status quo, and you're tired of the establishment, you got to get out to vote. Like she said, 50% rate of people getting out to vote. That's terrible. I think it's actually one of the lowest in the nation.
It's the lowest.
It's the lowest.
We have the lowest voter turnout in the country.
Is there anything we're not 50th in? I feel like we're 50th in everything.
Well, I mean, in anything that in anything you don't want to be 50th in, we're about 50th.
And then we're in that top 10 probably in gun violence and all that per capita and all that fun stuff.
Domestic abuse, yeah.
Yeah, so anyways, really appreciate y'all tuning in to Odd One Out. These are always going to be much more structured and organized videos whenever she's on here, so you can be appreciative to her for that. Like I said, we'll be collabing again here pretty soon. Appreciate everybody tuning in once again. We'll see you the next time. Odd One Out.